Hey guys, I thought I'd show you a quick look at the new WL Toys Micro truck. This is based on the K969 and K989, which is a 128 scale. Now this one they've creatively called the 284131, 28 denoting the scale, and the rest is just an absolute random array of numbers. Anyway, moving on, let's have a look at this. So, let's zoom in for a start. This is ridiculous. It is a really small car. You can see the WL Toys 144001, which is 1/14th scale, so this is half the scale. So we're going to have to zoom in here. Hopefully that's a bit better. So the truck itself is, as you can probably tell, has been made popular by the Armour Infraction and Ken Block, of course, is based on Ken Block's Hoonitruck, which was a drift machine that they've used for various promotional videos of his, which is super rad. Go check it out. He makes amazing videos. Anyway, Infraction did a great job. Much bigger scale, obviously. 1/7 scale as a street basher, and that's been hugely popular and popularised it. Now, I've seen this on another couple of cars, and the look hasn't really quite worked out, and I'm thinking of the SG1602, I think it is, the little drift truck, the 1/16th or 1/18th scale. That didn't quite get the proportions right. The proportions are spot on in this, so the wheel clearance, how they sit in the arches, the length of the car, just the proportions in general look fantastic. So it's nice to see that they've done that. What I really like about this, you can see the hard bumpers there go just beyond there and sort of integrate with the car itself. And what this means is that the shell's not going to really take in the impact, and they've even got this sort of like pseudo diffuser at the back. I mean, it would work if you're getting up to speed, but not on the kind of speed that these little cars. Regardless, it looks cool and it sort of adds strength, and the wing, well, that's just there for decoration really. But cool shell. Now, I should mention that this has got a ridiculous amount of LED lights, which I don't know, makes me feel like a little kid, but it's super duper cool. So headlights, there's an array of lights down the bottom here, also on the roof, more on the back here that are red, and even tail lights. So I'll show you how that works inside. There, spaghetti. So they work through, I think they're Pico connectors. I forget the name of them, JX 1.25 or 1.0 pitch, I can't remember. Someone smarter than me that know that, but I'll show you really quickly what the lights look like. So plug is a standard JST connector. They're pretty low current, but it's fine for this kind of scale. Turn it on here, and all the money you see, look at that ridiculous amount of lighting. So that's kind of how it looks when you've got it together. And the back there, sorry I haven't put it on properly, but you get the picture. It really looks impressive when you're sort of rocking around even in low light. Turn that off now. Get the body out the way. So the rest of the car is very much like the K969 and K989, so I'll whip through it. Brushless motor in typical WL Toys fashion is too big for the car. Works okay in this one. Again, in WL Toys fashion, massive pinion gear on the driveline. Nice to see that it comes with some options in the pack. So this is I think a 17 tooth on a 29. They also include a 17 tooth on a 31. They also include a 19 tooth pinion on a 29 tooth spur gear, so you can change the details there. Fully independent suspension, obviously not oil dampened in this size, but fairly effective. It's got tiny little dog bones. Front and rear. I think it might even have CVDs in the front. Yeah, little CVDs in the front. That's pretty cool. Four-wheel drive, of course, with a drive shaft, a prop shaft running the length of the car. Speaking of the length of the car, this is interesting. As you might be able to see here, let's go a bit closer. There are another set of holes further back. And the cool thing is that there's an additional drive shaft pinion that allows you to move the entire gearbox further back, and that body actually allows for it, so you can run a longer wheelbase for slightly more stability. It has a tiny little servo there, and it runs a 3-wire, which is excellent. So if you want to upgrade it, it's fine, but it's a pretty quick little servo. What it does mean is if you want to upgrade from this all-in-one ESC receiver unit, you can. Speaking of the radio, they've upgraded to the newer system, so this uses their standard M2R receiver, which I've got transmitter, which I've got a million of. They're fine. The best feature about it is the throttle jaw rate. So you can slow the little ones down until they figure out how to learn it, which inevitably happens, or give it full noise for yourself. 4AA batteries, of course, boring stuff. The car itself is really good, so I just wanted to show you a quick look at it on a bench, but it's nicely made. What I will say is, and this was a problem I understand in the K69, which I never got onto, but I felt it straight away. There is bind in this drive line. I tweaked the gear pitch, which is a little tricky because it's on a fixed mount, but I was able to tweak it a little bit with a bit of modification to get the gear mesh a bit better, and I thought that would fix it. It hasn't. The bind is in the drive shaft and in the prop shaft and the diffs. There is a fix for it. It is fairly involved. Look, you can run it without it. The motor will run pretty warm without it, and you won't get full speed or the kind of control. And that's fine in probably 80%, 90% of the situations. But if you're a bit of a stickler for making it run as well as you can, like me, it is going to need modifying. I will cover that a little bit in my QuadifyRC review, but a lot of that's going to be linking to Beaver Hobby's channel. So he's done an amazing video on this. I watched it through and I looked at it and it's like, oh my goodness, I cannot actually I cannot add anything to that. I would actually just muck it up. He's done such a good job. So anyway, that's really quickly the car. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments, but I'll look to get more videos or more likely the full review up on my website fairly soon, including putting a GPS on it. And the GPS, just so you know, is pretty massive compared to the car, so thank goodness it's got a nice big tray on that truck. The GPS there is probably going to slow it down somewhat. Anyway, so that's kind of, was it Schrödinger? Why have I got Schrödinger's cat in my mind? Is that Schrödinger's cat when you try to measure something and it changes it? I think it is. Anyway, some science nerd who's smarter than me will remind me of that one. But nice little car. Sorry, I should have said pneumatic rubber tyres. You can get drift wheels for it. Again, this is something that I'll look at in the further review. Thanks.